At Parkland Hospital, fire safety is everyone's job. All employees have the responsibility to help protect patients, guests, staff, and of course ourselves from the threat of fire. Now, there are two ways you would be alerted to a fire. You will either hear the fire alarm activation or you will smell smoke and observe a fire for yourself. Either way, it's important that we respond quickly. If there is a fire alarm activation on your floor, an overhead announcement will ask for your attention. Fire alarm activation will be announced along with the location. Fire doors in the center of each unit and core will automatically close. Fire warning lights will begin to flash and the alarm will sound. One thing to remember though, no door will lock in the event of a fire. If they close, they are able to be opened. Fire safety depends a lot on defending in place. That means to remain in your assigned area until an all clear has been announced. We do ask our EVS employees to be prepared to offer assistance if needed. Now, clinic buildings can be evacuated because most patients go there under their own power, but the main hospital cannot be completely evacuated because many patients there are bedridden. So if you observe smoke or a fire, we have 4 things that we need to do. The first thing is to rescue people in the area. The second thing is to alert people by pulling the alarm and calling 911. The third thing we do is to confine the fire by closing doors. After, of course, you make sure there are no people in the area. And then, if possible, we can extinguish a small fire if possible, or help to evacuate the area if in a clinic or a public area. Now, rescue means to help someone get out of danger. Alert means to let other people know. To confine means to keep that fire or the smoke in one place. And extinguish means to put the fire out. We use the first letter of each of those words to form a different word, and that word is race. And that reminds us that we are to R, rescue, A, alert, C, confine, and E, extinguish. Remember always when we alert to pull the pull station located by elevators and by stairwells. One thing we do not do in a fire is to scream fire. We don't panic and we do not worry about our personal possessions. To extinguish means to put a fire out. And there are several ways to do that. The easiest and most efficient way, of course, is with a fire extinguisher. But we could also tamp a fire down with a blanket or wet blanket. If someone was actually on fire, we could put a blanket on them and brush that blanket, brush the fire away from that person's face. And remember, if for some reason we end up on fire, the old adage of stop, drop, and roll is very effective. Now, if we are going to use a fire extinguisher, the word pass reminds us of how to use a fire extinguisher. The P reminds us to pull the fire extinguisher pin. The A reminds us to aim the hose or the nozzle. The S reminds us to squeeze the handle, and the other S reminds us to sweep the hose from side to side at the base of the fire. On our JDLs, we have the fire and the fire extinguisher protocol. RACE, to rescue, alert, confine, and extinguish. On our JDL, we also have the word pass, which reminds us how to use a fire extinguisher. The letter P reminds us that we are to pull the pin. The letter A reminds us that we are to aim the hose or the nozzle at the base of the fire. The first S reminds us to squeeze the handle of the fire extinguisher, and the second S reminds us to sweep the nozzle or the hose back and forth at the base of the fire. All Parkland fire extinguishers are rated ABC, which means any fire extinguisher you come in contact with will work for all fires that you might find at Parkland. But remember, smoke kills more people than fire. So if you have rescued, alerted, and can find a fire, don't open the door. Leave the extinguishing to people trained to put fires out. The fire pull stations are located in New Parkland near the employee elevators and near the exit stairs on every unit. The fire extinguishers are located near the smoke compartment doors. You'll see the sign of the symbol of the fire extinguisher above, and below you'll find the cabinet that contains the fire extinguisher. Now, another safety issue that could come at Parkland would be slips, trips, and falls. Whenever carpets have been cleaned, don't forget there is a danger of moving from a wet carpet to a dry tile floor. So be sure that you put plenty of caution signs around the area to remind people to walk safely. If you come across a spill at Parkland, yet you do not have the right equipment to thoroughly take care of it, spill kits are provided in every hallway for safety. Remove one of the absorbent pads, or however many it takes to cover the spill adequately, and then use one of the temporary caution signs that come with the spill kit to be sure that people see the danger and avoid it. Come back when you have your cart, you have mops, or whatever you need to clean up the spill. If you're going to be using electrical equipment in Parkland, such as vacuum cleaners or buffers, please make sure that you alert other people to the presence of your cord by using a caution sign or several caution signs so they do not step on the cord and fall. If you're working in stairs, make sure the stairs are kept clear and dry. If you see a walk-off mat that is wrinkled or rolled up at the corners, take time to pull a wrinkle out or to put the corners down. If you see obstacles where somebody might not see them, then what you need to do is to make sure that you move those so that no one will trip or fall over them. Nail safety is something we must pay attention to at Parkland. It's not that we are against fashion, it's that we are against bacteria. Bacteria can find their way under your nails, and there they will multiply. And that is a hazard that we must protect ourselves and other people from. Please keep your nails trimmed. Back safety is very important at Parkland. It is important that we protect ourselves in order to protect our jobs. If you are called upon to lift something heavy at Parkland, use your legs to do the lifting, not your back. Make sure that you get close to the load so that it will not cause you to bend too far over and endanger your back. Keep your back straight. Bend at the knees. Pick up any object that you have to pick up using your leg muscles. When you're carrying an object, don't juggle it. Put the item down and make sure your hands are not under it. Get help if you need, and do not take chances. Bend with the knees, not with your back. Remember, there are many aspects to safety at Parkland. This has been just one, and it is very important. Thank you.